Now we're sitting at 60 degrees. We're in a severe weather alert as we turn to your Pinpoint Weather 12 forecast.
Chief Meteorologist Tony Petarca is in the Weather Center tracking it all. I see raindrops there behind you on the window and a lot of green on the radar, Tony.
Yeah, rain and wind, classic New England nor'easter, unfortunately. I think the wind is the bigger factor with this storm system, even though we have some heavy rain. And the strongest wind hasn't really arrived, and that actually kicks in later this evening and especially during the overnight and early tomorrow morning. We are looking at Newport right now, fog, poor visibility. We'll take you over to Easton's Beach in Newport, where the winds are picking up, obviously, anywhere from 30, 35, close to 40 miles per hour at times. But the height of the wind, the strongest of the wind, is from roughly about 8 o'clock this evening through noontime tomorrow. So any potential outages, it should start to ramp up, unfortunately, once we get beyond 8 o'clock and during the overnight hours. As we take a look at Narragansett Town Beach, and it just pretty much tells a story with rough surf, increasing wind, and the rain sort of blowing sideways. Anticipating now, the flood watch remains in effect for the areas in light green, pretty much the entire area. Potential for localized urban and some street flooding. Now, anticipating 2 to 4 inches of rain. This includes what has fallen already, but the rain will become even more widespread and heavier throughout the evening and into the overnight. And quite simply, the high wind warning for the areas in red, essentially south and east of Providence and along the coastline, that's where stronger wind gusts will be realized. Elsewhere, it's what we call a wind advisory. So still very windy inland areas, northwest Rhode Island, but not as windy as southeastern Mass and the lower part of the bay and along the south shore. In fact, let's put some numbers on here. The peak wind gusts, and again, these will be realized later this evening and during the overnight. The far northwest corner of the state, anywhere from 40 to 50. Route 95 corridor, this includes Providence, Metro, Warwick, Cranston, most of Kent County, somewhere between 50 and 55. But in this orange area, wouldn't be surprised to see a gust of 60. Further to the south and east of that, this red zone, southeastern Mass, Narragansett Bay, Washington County, on the order of 50 to 60, and right along the water's edge, westerly, Charlestown, Narragansett, Newport, Portsmouth, Horseneck, New Bedford, Elizabeth Islands, Buzzards Bay, the Cape and the Islands, and Block Island, gusts to 60 to 65 with isolated gusts to 70. So while the chance for power outages is there statewide, obviously the higher risk would be the further south and east you go, closer to the coastline. And that'll be realized later in the evening and during the overnight. Strong wind gusts, slow travel, high impacts here. The power outage risk is moderate to borderline high, high being closer to the coastline. Localized street flooding. We showed you earlier in the story how some of these storm drains are clogged up this time of year with leaves, and it just allows the water to go down these storm drains a lot slower. But we're going to be watching the situation as far as potential power outages. The higher risk along the coastline, at least moderate to borderline high. Here's the general range in wind gusts. The wind direction is northeast, and that includes the entire area. You can see the rain pinwheeling in off the ocean right now. Our developing nor'easter is this circulation right in here, intensifying rapidly, but it will be slowing down and doing a loop. This is actually the forecast track will do something like this next 24 hours and then eventually loop back out and away from us by tomorrow afternoon and especially by tomorrow evening. You can see the slow movement of the storm next 24 hours. Here's the timeline. You see during the overnight, early tomorrow morning, the wind is still ripping at 6 in the morning with rain and wind, and then slowly that storm system pulls away to the south and east, and see some slow improvement in terms of the precipitation and the wind during the afternoon and into the evening hours. So we start off this evening with areas of rain coming in. This is midnight. Keep in mind, this is not a wind gust forecast. This is sustained northeast, 25 to 30, 35 miles per hour. 7 in the morning, it's a wind-swept heavy rain. Now, during the afternoon, the rain is easing and the wind is easing as well. It's still windy during the afternoon, but not as strong as what we'll have overnight and into early tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, we start to see some gradual clearing. So for tomorrow morning, still very stormy, especially early on. Temperatures in the lower 50s, a windswept rain. During the afternoon, still very windy, but a gradual decrease in both the intensity of the rain as well as the wind. It is a raw day. Temperatures only upper 40s to lower 50s. Storm warning, no surprise here. Stay in port now through tomorrow night. Northeast 25 to 30 knots, gusts to 50 knots. 2 to 4 foot waves on the bay, but 4 to 8 feet out on the mouth of the bay. All right, 7-day forecast showing the stormy weather tonight through tomorrow, especially during the morning. Thursday, not bad. Our next system for rain Friday night into Saturday. Good news, though, for Halloween. It dries out Halloween Sunday with the temperatures in The lower 60s. You can download the Pinpoint 12 weather app by scanning this QR code, and we'll be showing this all throughout the newscast after the 7-day forecast. You get your smartphone out, scan that code, and you can download the Pinpoint 12 app, hourly forecast, interactive radar, 7-day forecast, and alerts sent right to your phone. Brian and Kim?
Tony, thank you. Still ahead.